We're bracing ourselves for this being the deadliest industrial tragedy in modern Washington state history. When you have a tragedy of that scale, the impacts on individuals, on families, and on communities is profound. I want to extend my deepest condolences to those who have been directly impacted by the loss of a loved one during this extraordinarily challenging time.
A rare delivery just happened at the Woodland Park Zoo. Listen to this. A medical team from Swedish Medical Center that typically works on humans just performed an emergency C-section on the gorilla named Olympia. This is the first gorilla to be born via C-section in the zoo's history, and only a dozen C-sections on gorillas have happened around the world. Olympia was 5 days past her due date, and an ultrasound over the weekend showed complications. So the staff made the decision to put her under anesthesia and took her to a veterinary hospital where they determined that Olympia wouldn't be able to deliver the baby on her own. One of the doctors on the left in this picture is a neonatologist at Swedish who told me it was incredible. He said taking care of a newborn gorilla was a lot like taking care of a newborn baby. The baby boy weighed 4 pounds and is now being cared for by another gorilla at the zoo who just had a baby boy of her own 9 days ago. Now, the zoo says Olympia is not quite ready to take her baby yet, but when she is, the two will be reunited.
Through a public records request to the Washington State Bar Association, we were able to get the official resignation papers that Alexandra Lozano acknowledged and signed. The bullet points made in this document still remain allegations because she resigned in lieu of disciplinary action. She says that even though she's choosing not to defend herself, she denies all allegations of malpractice. So some of the allegations that are outlined in this document include allegations that she misrepresented herself and also told her attorneys and staffers to show misleading information and communicate that with the clients. She also is accused of asking non-lawyers or non-barred attorneys to sign and fill out paperwork for her clients. She is also accused of charging unreasonable fees anywhere from $10,000 to $15,000 for non-attorneys to work on legal cases. With her resignation, she is barred from practicing law in Washington state, and there's also something in here that's interesting. The bar is saying in this binding contract that she needs to notify other states where she has bar licenses and also voluntarily resign from those as well.
So I found Mark Zuckerberg's boat in South Lake Union. Hard to miss. People aren't just talking about that it's $300 million, nearly 400 feet long, but the optics of this. 1,400 jobs cut by Meta across Seattle and Bellevue. It's about 20% of the local workforce. It's part of broader restructuring around AI, and it's sort of become a tourist attraction with people talking about it on Reddit. At this point, I don't know why it's here. It looks like a cruise ship. Cruise ship season's ramping up. It's just crazy looking at this thing compared to all the other boats that are normally here on South Lake Union. One guy said he was surprised it even fit in here. What do you think?
My final drive, I want to give a shout out to the South Hill Little League. Josh Mortensen from the South Hill Little League put on a great event last night. South Hill Little League has been around for 40 years now, one of the biggest Little League programs in the state. Last night I had the honor to MC special event where they honored their Little League All-Star baseball team that went to Williamsport for the World Series and their Little League softball team that won a state championship and placed third in the region. They also honored former South Hill Little League player Troy Johnson, who now plays for the Colorado Rockies. Troy batting .321 this season for the Rockies. His parents, Lisa and David, were on hand for the big night. They presented him with his Little League jersey, and then they put a special banner on the outfield wall right there. You can see it. Troy watched the celebration from L.A. His Rockies taking on the Dodgers.
How cool is that, man? I mean, when you hear from players that have gone through the system, and even at 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, they go through Little League, and all of a sudden they wind up in the majors, and Troy's killing it right now.
Well, and last night it was the Blue Jays versus the Reds. These are 8, 9, 10, 11-year-old kids, and it's just like to tell them, like, this Major League Baseball player was on this field right here. He was your age. He played right here. And I also let them know that as great a baseball player Troy Johnson is, he's even better off the field. And it's to share those stories. He went on to play at Rogers High School. I think he hit 400 his junior year. Played for the Gonzaga Bulldogs. Hit over 300 for the Zags. Great human being. Had to fight through the minor leagues for a long time to make it. Now hitting 321 for the Rockies. I mean, hopefully he'll stay with the Rockies and continue his career, but baseball, he could be a pickup.
That's a target. That is a trade. The Rockies ain't going anywhere this season, guys. And Troy, man, what a fit he would be back here. I don't know. I'm just saying there might be a need.
Stories like him, though, the guys that go the years in minor league with that dream of making it to the bigs, and we've seen it here in Seattle quite a few times. So very cool, and congratulations to Troy as he continues his major league career.
This team is getting healthier. So Chris grading on a curve Egan here. You know what? The grades are going up, and that's
Slow
a good
your roll,
sign.
buddy. Slow your roll. Oh, my gosh. This is the guy. I can't even tell you the stuff he told me in the preseason, and it hasn't come true. So
That's what, Paul, that's why
6 games in.
That's why I can't be a manager or a player. It's just I get too high and low. I use this show as my therapy phone.
How much of the economic impact will be felt beyond tech, especially in Bellevue, Seattle, and Redmond, where Meta has that pretty large footprint?
We're likely to see a pretty big carry-on effect. These are pretty high-paying jobs, and so a loss of even one job means a huge amount of money that is no longer going to somebody who lives in the area, spends in the area. You can sort of anticipate that every lost job from if that's a high-paying tech job, might lead to 1, maybe even 2 additional layoffs in the area, just because those people are no longer spending, unless, of course, those jobs do come back.
Remember this video? An endangered Hawaiian monk seal in the water minding its own business while a man is accused of throwing a rock at it. People were furious when this started spreading online. Now the Covington man, prosecutors say, is behind it, has pleaded not guilty in federal court in Honolulu. He's 38-year-old Igor Livunchuk, and federal prosecutors say he violated the Endangered Species Act and the Marine Mammal Protection Act. His attorney says that he thought the seal was an aggressive sea lion and was trying to protect nearby sea turtles. The attorney also says since the video went viral, his client's been doxxed, threatened, and harassed. But prosecutors say he threw a coconut-sized rock toward an endangered Hawaiian monk seal swimming in shallow water. If he's convicted, he could face up to a year in prison for each charge, plus fines.
Well, following the removal of catwalks and ladders from the structure at Gasworks Park, a family suing the city of Seattle has dropped its lawsuit. Last July, 14-year-old Mathis Johnson died after falling from the structure after scaling the chain link around it. The family filed a nuisance suit accusing the city of failing to protect the public from danger. The city began removing parts of that structure last month and finished the work just days before a court hearing was scheduled to take place. The Johnson family then moved to voluntarily dismiss the lawsuit as moot.
Brother and sister Giovanna and Eli Bernal are mourning the loss of their father, Gilbert, technician at this paper mill in Longview. Eli rushed to the scene as word spread of a massive implosion.
Just that big steam cloud. It was everywhere. It was so vast, just like a cloud on the floor.
We were just under the impression that he was just in the hospital, just in critical condition, so we were still hopeful. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case.
The plant plays a major role in Longview's economy, and tonight the community is rallying around the grieving families.
Truly, you couldn't ask for a better dad. Honestly, he raised the bar so high.
2 people are dead and 9 are missing following this tragic tank implosion at a paper mill in Longview, Washington. I've been digging into what exactly happened, and here's what I found so far. Multiple experts tell me this accident appears to be a major operational or maintenance failure. They also said they've seen explosions before, but implosions like this are extremely rare. Let's take a look at the tank at the center of this all. You can see the implosion left it collapsed in on itself. And experts tell me that suggests a dangerous vacuum formed inside of the tank. We're still working on figuring out what exactly caused that vacuum, but when one does form, it causes the air and chemicals to rush in and then out through any opening like a valve or door. An example of this is imagine drinking your water bottle until it collapses in on itself. But this wasn't a water bottle. It was a tank holding 900,000 gallons of liquid. And this wasn't water. It's a chemical mixture known as white liquor, and it's used to break down wood fibers to make paper. It's so toxic that experts tell me these tanks require a special protective glass lining to prevent it from eating through the metal there. And if it comes into contact with human skin, experts say it can cause chemical burns, dissolve flesh, or kill someone. We'll be asking a lot more questions and following the investigation as it unfolds, and we'll make sure to keep you updated.
King County Public Health is warning people to stay out of the water at Houghton Beach Park in Kirkland. Seems to be an annual event here. They say people and pets should avoid the water at least for a week because of elevated bacteria levels. Signs will be posted around the park with warnings. The rest of Houghton Beach Park will remain open.
Yeah, give me the baby.
I don't want to open the door here. We'll go quick.
Hold up, bro.
No, cover him, cover him.
I got the baby out. Cover him. Yeah.
So we want to congratulate a Seattle 7th grader who made it to the quarterfinals of the Scripps National Spelling Bee in Washington, D.C. Such a big deal. We're talking about Raven Amrine. Now, this is the only student from Washington State to participate this year. Raven passed the preliminaries yesterday, and she was knocked out, unfortunately, during the quarterfinals today. But of the 247 students, Raven was one of only 75 who even made it to the quarterfinals.
Congrats, Raven.
Yeah, that is a huge accomplishment.
Wow. Smart kids from the state.
Absolutely.
taxpayers of Washington State spend a lot of money each year, more than $40 million on this one institution alone, to rehabilitate young criminal offenders. The mission of the Green Hill School is not just to punish, it's supposed to provide treatment and job training to young robbers, rapists, and murderers convicted in juvenile court. Our investigation questions whether that's really happening when there's so much crazy stuff that's going on inside the razor wire. As you'll see, we uncovered the former Green Hill School employee who came back more than once, posing as a DoorDash driver, delivering drug-filled burritos to inmates, inmate assaults on employees, employees smuggling in cell phones and other contraband, a drug task force raid on Green Hill, in which detectives were forced to get a search warrant to open a secret locker stuffed with illegal drugs that administrators kept in the school's laundry room. More drug smuggling, like this football tossed over the fence full of marijuana for the kids inside. And maybe the most damning of all, sex tapes and nude photos that employees recorded with young inmates. Most of these crimes were recorded on videos that we got through years of public records requests. Now, how could all this happen in what is supposed to be the state's highest security juvenile prison? Well, we take that question right to the new head of the program.
What is being done to make sure that the problems of the past couple of years, the overcrowding, the drug smuggling, the employee misconduct, that those things aren't happening in Green Hill?
We're uncovering the secrets of Green Hill. Our new investigative special begins streaming Saturday, May 30th at 7 p.m. on the King 5 Plus app on your smart TV.
It's like a torture, it's like a purgatory. We really miss Logan.
This case bothers me big time.
Why would Logan Schindelman suddenly disappear on May 20th?
I am 50-50 as to whether or not he's alive or dead. It's what keeps me up at night.
Logan is, he's been missing for a long time, and there's some really weird circumstances around it.
There is someone out there that knows something. I have my suspicions, and they haven't changed.
But despite the years that have passed, we are still here. We are still searching. We are still speaking Logan's name. And we are still hoping for answers.
I want people to know that he's just not a face on a poster. He's not a case number. He's a young man that had a life to look forward to.
Well, actually, I ran into Coach Leach when I was the head coach at LMU. We were playing BYU, and I ran into him at a pizza parlor. And we started talking to me, and his wife asked me, does the pizza here have enough cheese? Because Mike wants to know if he needs to get extra cheese or not. And so he called me over and started saying, well, how do you know it's enough cheese? And I said, well, look at my body type. I think I know a good cheese pizza. And so him and I talked for 15, 20 minutes. He asked about LMU, obviously got his law degree at Pepperdine, and had a nice 15, 20-minute conversation. This was probably about 2 or 3 years before I got the job. So a little bit of a connection there.
Park Service now says it's using a large amount of its entrance fees to help fund President Trump's ambitious projects across the nation's capital. The New York Times reports at least $67 million paid by national park visitors is going toward repairs to 9 of the Capitol's ornamental fountains. The government is also putting another $7 million worth of entrance fees toward the renovation of the Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool. The president wants these projects completed by July 4th.
A massive new art installation is turning heads in Seattle's South Lake Union neighborhood. Standing 8 stories tall, the Hostess now covers the east side of the 9th and Thomas building near downtown Seattle. The piece was created by Seattle artist Ernesto Ibarra and celebrates the global soccer spotlight coming to Seattle this summer. The banner stretches 36 by 111 feet and was originally hand-painted in acrylic before being digitized and transformed into the giant display.
It's a metaphor for the city that is sophisticated and intelligent. We say anybody who comes to Seattle, whatever you're into, we have it.
This marks Ibarra's second collaboration with 9th and Thomas, a South Lake Union space known for its large public art program featuring more than 25 artists. And now, Seattle has one more giant welcome sign for the world to see.
Lying flat? In economy, on long-haul flights? This airline is hoping to make that a reality with bunk beds. I recently checked out Skynest, a beds-on-board concept rolled out by Air New Zealand for flights between Auckland and New York City.
Oh, this is cozy.
Think of it as a compromise. Less expensive than business-class lie-flat seats, but more relaxing than regular economy seats. 6 people can be in this nest at a time. Still, it's not cheap. A session of 4 hours comes at a cost of $495, plus amenities like an eye mask and earplugs. Air New Zealand's CEO has said that the company wants to, quote, lead in sleep. That's a necessity for the airline. New Zealand's location means that a majority of their flights are long hauls, so they have to really work hard to make passengers comfortable when they're spending so long in the sky. Before this, the airline rolled out the Sky Couch, where 3 economy seats were combined into a bed. That idea was licensed by United, so you might start seeing it in the US.